Hello, my name is Greg McIntosh and I'm with Atlantis Marketing Solutions. And today we're going to start our training series talking about the Ostrich seminar. How it was put together, why it was put together, and some of the key points that make this seminar unique. In fact, we're actually going to do, or I'm going to do the front half of the seminar so that you can see how this presentation was really put together and why, why it's kind of a unique thing. So let's start off first of all talking about who we are. Who Atlantis Marketing Solutions is. We as a company, the founders of Atlantis Marketing Solution, founded this company over 14 years ago. And they were financial professionals that started and specialized in the aid and attendance benefit. Many of you may have heard of that benefit, maybe you haven't. But it's a VA benefit for wartime veterans and their surviving spouses. And them as financial planners and as Medicaid specialists saw this aid and attendance benefit as a huge way to find financial clients. And they developed a business model that became second to none in the country in working with aid and attendance, and still is. To this point, they've had over 14,000 people apply for the aid and attendance benefit. That's put over $500 million in the hands of veterans and surviving spouses that are moving into an assisted living community or in an independent living community. And all those applications were submitted with the help of an organization called the American Association for Wartime Veterans, which is an organization held up by an elder law attorney who works hand in hand with us and our organization, coast to coast, and all the other elder law attorneys in our network and all the other financial professionals in our network. And we've done seminars for the last 14 years, and we've probably educated over 500,000 people coast to coast on the aid and attendance benefit. Now that has nothing to do with the Ostrich seminar, but it kind of does, because we are getting, over the last year or so, a lot of requests from senior living communities and people that see us speak on the aid and attendance benefit to put together a seminar that really does provide a lot more information than just VA benefits, something that can apply to a lot of people, not just a small segment of the population. So we put together the Ostrich seminar, and the main thrust of this seminar is to sell life insurance products that have long-term care or chronic care riders on them. So it's really going after the long-term care market, the people 65 to, let's say, 80 who are moving into those senior years and are concerned about protecting their assets and really need long-term care, don't have it now, or have a bad policy, and are looking to protect some of their assets through a life insurance chassis long-term care chronic care riders with these policies. So these policies were not even in existence a number of years ago. They are now, and they're very, very good. And we're one of the first companies in the country to put together a seminar system to kind of focus on those products. Now, that doesn't mean that we only sell those products. We solve a lot of problems for people that are coming to our conference room because of this seminar. But one of the things you'll see about this seminar is that it really does gear towards explaining to people why those products are so unique and why they should take a good, solid look at them. So the success of the organization for the last 14 years, the amount of people that we've helped, and the notoriety that we have coast to coast with independent assisted living communities and other organizations, it really prompted us to put this seminar together. So it works very well. It's very well thought out. The system is unique. The marketing is unique. The seminar is unique, and how we put this together, utilizing an elder law attorney as part of the speaker process, is unique. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through the seminar, and I may stop from time to time and do a sidebar and tell you why I think this is really important. You'll see that the seminar was set up with a couple different sections. Section 1 is the biggest section, and that is the Hansen story. And it's a story about a real life family that actually came into our offices after a train wreck of a situation happened to them financially, and they wanted to get the word out on why this information that they learned after the fact should be learned before and try to help other people. So the Hansen story is the first, let's say 25 minutes, 20 minutes or so, a little bit of the seminar. Then we go into talking about the things that they did wrong. We talk about a little bit about protecting assets through indexed annuities, not getting caught in the stock market. Then we go into the life insurance products with the long-term chronic care riders on them and what makes them unique and the leveraging concept of those type of products. Then we bring up and talk about the aid and attendance benefit for 8 to 10 minutes. Then we bring up the elder law attorney to cover some questions that are handed out at the beginning of the seminar. At the beginning of the seminar, when people come in, we give them a booklet, and that booklet has questions in it, legal and financial questions that they should know the answers to if they've been around a little bit. The unique thing about it is 50% of the people get majority of these things wrong, or 50% of the people get these questions wrong. So we see that the education process when the attorney comes up is unique because he's telling people, you got that wrong and here's why. So all that puts together is our seminar. The seminar lasts probably, depending on how fast of a talker you are, anywhere between an hour and 10 minutes. Shouldn't go any longer than that. And it is, like I said, a conjunction of two speakers, a financial professional and an attorney. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start off and I'm going to kind of do the seminar for you. Obviously, there's no audience here, but I'm going to do it as if there is an audience so you can kind of see the general nature of how this seminar is put together and some of the wording that we say. Later in the training, you can actually watch one of the presentations done by Stephen Wise, who's one of our financial professionals that did one live, and I did happen to record that one. And that's one of our earlier versions of the seminar. We've kind of shortened it a little bit, but anyway, you'll see what we're talking about, and we'll go from there. So what we're going to start off today talking about first is the Hansen family. Now, this is a real-life family from the Midwest. Now, this is not their picture, and this is not their name. We changed their name, and we changed the picture to protect them, but they are a real-life family that actually came into one of our offices in the Midwest after the situation we're going to talk about happened. And they wanted to get their story out. They wanted people to know what happened to them and how things could have been prevented. You're going to notice that during this story, you're going to see either yourself in this picture as Jack or Jane Hansen, or you may see yourself as one of the children in this story. But every one of us can probably relate to some part of this story, either personally or through somebody that we know and love that may have happened with part of this. Okay? So let's talk about this family. Jack Hansen, at this time, now this is back in 2006, so we're kind of rolling back the clock a little bit here. But in 2006, Jack was 80 years old. He's a World War II veteran. He worked in the construction industry for his whole life. And because he worked in the construction industry, he has some minor health problems. He's got some bad knees. He walks with a cane. He doesn't drive a car very often, or they don't let him drive a car very often. Just not real good at it. And so he's got these minor health things going on with his body, going through the construction industry for so many years. He's got high blood pressure. He's got a little bit of a cholesterol issue. So nothing life-threatening, you'd say, but he's got some things going on. Now, his wife, Jane, back in 2006, she was 75 years old. She is a retired part-time librarian for the school system in their area. She is almost in perfect health. Her kids and every one of her loved ones would tell you that they think she's going to live to 100. Why? Because she eats right. She walks every day. She exercises. She watches her intake of cholesterol and the bad things that we shouldn't be eating. She's a pillar of health for somebody her age, and obviously the family thinks that she is going to be the one that lasts to age 100 because it also has life expectancy in her family. In the winter of 2008, they made this decision once she was diagnosed that Jane was becoming more and more forgetful, and it was becoming a concern to the family. Jack, the dad, was not driving at all at that point, and they made the decision if mom can't drive, dad can't drive, and mom's being more forgetful, living in their house that they've been living in for years and years and years and years, maybe is not the best idea. So Lisa said, all during 2012, they spent another $87,000, during 2011, excuse me, they spent another $87,000 in that assisted living community. Okay? He could move into a nursing home. Well, not really. He doesn't need nursing home care. He's not broke, so he can't apply for Medicaid and go on to a Medicaid nursing home. And his long-term care policy that he purchased years and years ago works only in a nursing home. And he doesn't need nursing home care at this point. So had Jack and Jane had some advice and had some guidance before this happened, had the family talked and put a plan in place, to our best guess, Jack and Jane would have had nearly $378,000 in 2012 when Jane passed away versus the $47,000 that they did have. A big difference here. Well, here's the deal. 70% of us over the age of 65 will need some form of long-term chronic care for things like strokes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, osteoporosis, or even car accidents, mental or physical trauma, slip or fall accidents. If she turned on the long-term care benefit, they give her $230,000 of long-term care insurance benefit. Well, that's a lot bigger than $144,000. If she'd never used the long-term care insurance and she never took the money out and took a cruise around the world, and she happened to die at age 80, which is when she passed away, then $252,000 would have been paid as a death benefit to her family. So that's what we talk about in our first half of our Hansen story. Now, at this point in the seminar, we start talking about veterans benefits, okay? And we go through a little bit of an example of the VA benefit called aid and attendance. So that's what I'll do now. So in this next section, we're going to talk about veterans benefits for you that are a veteran or a surviving spouse of a veteran. There's a VA benefit out there called aid and attendance. So here's the qualifications to get this benefit. Number one, you must have served active duty during a wartime era. So World War II, Korean conflict, Vietnam, those are all wartime eras. So you can see the dates on here that you must have served during in order to get this benefit. So in order to get it, as a veteran, you must have been activated into active duty for 90 consecutive days. So let's talk about how much money the VA is going to be able to give you if you qualify for this full benefit. So if you're a veteran and a spouse, so both of you are alive, it's roughly $25,000, a little over $25,000 a year tax-free from the VA. So our next section is going to be brought up and talked to you by our elder law attorney, who is going to come into the presentation and talk about the questions that you received at the beginning of the seminar. Now, obviously, I'm not an elder law attorney, so I'm going to run through this part and I'm going to, kind of skip through it a little bit, but you'll see a little bit about what I'm talking about as far as the questions go. So in one of the test questions, the first test question that you received when you came in, here's the question. If you have assets in a living trust, what protections does that trust provide you? Okay, put your assets in a trust. What are most people thinking that their trust is going to do? It's protecting my assets. So A, the assets in the trust do not have to go through probate after my death. All right. When I'm living, my trust provides asset protections, making my assets unreachable to anyone who may sue me. So most people feel that my trust is protecting my assets. So when we tell them that really your living trust only makes your money go through probate faster and without issues, they're surprised. They thought that if I get in a car accident and sued, my trust protects my assets. No, it doesn't. Last question. And that's really pretty much the end of the seminar. At that point, we go through and we hand out a sheet, what we call a financial concern sheet, and we go around the room as people are maybe eating their meal at that point.